What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm reviewing a sneaker from Nike that features an all-new cushioning technology that really got my attention, the Nike Joyride Run Flyknit. A few days ago, Nike unveiled a brand new cushioning technology that they've dubbed Nike Joyride. Now usually when a sneaker company unveils a new cushioning technology, it just looks like a standard foam, nothing too crazy. But when you look at the Nike Joyride technology, it really looks different. As you can probably tell from this window on the heel, Nike Joyride is actually just a bunch of tiny little beads. Usually sneaker cushions are foam or some type of air, and in some cases they don't even have cushions. But this shoe literally has a bunch of tiny little TPE beads, which is something I've never seen before. And that's honestly why I was so excited to try this sneaker out. I love crazy new technologies, and this really seems like a crazy new technology. Before we jump into the review itself, let me fill you in on some of the basic details. This colorway of the Nike Joyride Run Flyknit is the first shoe available that you can actually try Joyride technology, and as of right now it's only available to Nike members. However, on August 15th it does get a much wider release and a couple more colorways. As the name would suggest, the Nike Joyride Run is specifically designed to be a running sneaker. However, Nike is planning to release some lifestyle models that feature Joyride cushioning technology before the end of the month, and probably even more models before the end of the year. The Joyride Run Flyknit comes in at a retail price of $180, which definitely isn't cheap. But like I said, as someone who loves trying out new sneaker technologies, I had to grab myself a pair. Since first trying on the shoes, I have had a chance to go in a run in them, so I do have some experience with the shoe. But stay tuned, because later in the week, once I've had more time with this sneaker, I am going to drop another video talking about my experience and comparing it to some other cushions out in the market. But with all of that out of the way, let's jump right into the upper. The upper, as you probably expected from the name of the sneaker, is made up almost entirely of Flyknit. It's very soft, it's very stretchy, but it's just kind of your standard Flyknit. It's not really anything new. Sort of diagonally cutting across the midfoot of the sneaker, you do have this sort of neoprene material that starts on the medial side. This material did offer a little bit more padding on the inside of my foot, which I really did appreciate. It's also riddled with perforations because unlike Flyknit, it's just not as breathable, but that definitely does help. There's a small piece of fuse overlay on the tip of the toe for some extra durability. Then moving up on the shoe, you get to your flat white laces that weave through even more fuse overlay around the eyelets. The general construction of the upper is essentially just a bootie, so you don't have a separate tongue and your foot kind of slides into the sneaker like a sock. However, there is actually this separate piece around the heel, so it's not really a one-piece upper, it's kind of a split dual booty situation. I'm not really sure how to describe it. At the top of the tongue, you've got this seemingly retro-inspired padded circular Nike logo, which I actually kind of like. Inside the shoe, there's not really any sock liner to speak of. Also, the insole of the shoe isn't removable, and it feels just like a thin piece of material between your feet and the beads. That's definitely not a bad thing though. It's not uncomfortable in any way, but honestly, you probably wouldn't feel the beads underneath your foot if there was any kind of foam in between your foot and the beads themselves. You do have the Joyride logo printed on the insole in orange. Nike also didn't adhere or glue the center of this material to the midsole itself, so there is sort of a weird kind of air bubble or air pocket going on, which I don't mind, and I guess it's there to allow you to feel the beads a little bit more freely. I'm not totally sure why it's there, but I don't hate it. As for fit, the Nike Joyride does seem to fit me true to size, but I have narrow feet. If you have wide feet or you prefer a little bit more space in your running sneakers, I would definitely suggest going up half a size. I'd also suggest if you have the chance to try the shoe on first before you buy it, make sure to do that to make sure you're grabbing the right size for you. Continuing back on the shoe, you get to that separate ankle area that I mentioned earlier, which has some really nice padding around the top of the ankle and does lock you down pretty nicely around the heel. And of course, rounding off the back of the shoe, you've got this sort of rope-like pull tab. Then moving downward, we get to the part of the shoe that I'm sure you're most interested in, the Joyride midsole itself. According to Nike's website, there are 4 different segments that make up this midsole. There's a large heel unit, a small midfoot unit, a slightly larger forefoot unit, and then a small toe unit. Each one of these segments, or bags, or containers, or whatever you want to call them, hold these TPE beads. Now TPE is not actually a foam, it's what's called a thermoplastic elastomer, and it's actually something you might be a lot more familiar with than you think. TPE is actually used for a lot of different things. It's food safe, so you can use it as a gasket in a bottle cap, or you could use it as like the soft touch material on a tool. In my previous line of work where I used to design kitchenware and dog toys, we use TPE a lot. So TPE is actually not a foam at all, it's more of a rubbery type material. And because of that, a large slab of TPE would not be anywhere close to as soft as a slab of foam. But that's actually where this shoe gets interesting, because this midsole is not made up of one slab of material like most foam midsoles. It's made up of a bunch of tiny little rubber-like beads, so your foot almost sinks into the midsole. It's a really weird sensation. Running or walking on this midsole isn't as soft as something like Boost or React, but it does kind of feel like your foot is slipping into a tiny little ball pit, which is a super weird feeling. It almost feels like you're walking on like really thick, granular sand. But what's nice about these rubber beads rather than a foam midsole is that you actually get a lot more bounce, so you get a lot more spring in your step. The way this shoe has been described by a couple of my friends who have actually run a lot more in this sneaker than I have is a great recovery shoe. It's the kind of sneaker that you would wear for a run when your muscles are really worn out and they can't handle too much more impact. Or for example, if you're a new runner and you're just not used to that kind of impact. And it's also an interesting sensation underfoot when you're walking, but not so much when you're running, because when you're running, it just feels like a standard midsole. It's a really interesting technology and one that I feel like I need a lot more time with to really completely understand. One thing I will say though is that because this midsole is essentially just 4 beanbags, you do really get a very customized and very personalized fit to your foot. The beads just sort of slowly move out of the way as you walk in the shoe, so it really feels like a one-to-one fit. And that's something I really like about this shoe. No, it's not as soft as Boost, no, it's not as soft as React, but it really gives you almost a more personalized fit than those materials. I also think it looks nuts. Like, I've never seen a shoe that looks like this. It's just such a crazy, unique look. If you're a runner who needs a good recovery day shoe to alleviate some of those pressure points, this is a great way to go. Or if you're just a beginner runner who doesn't like a lot of that hard impact that you get from a lot of the other running shoes, again, a good way to go. I definitely plan to run in this shoe more. I'm not like a super aggressive runner, however, I do like a slightly stiffer cushion. Right now, my favorite shoe is the Pegasus 35, but this is something that I'd be happy to try for a few days and really get a feel for. Another interesting thing about this bead construction is that the midsole doesn't really have any sort of like solid, stiff structure. It's a very flexible shoe, and if that's something you like, great. If it's something you don't, maybe avoid this shoe. Then finally, moving from the midsole to the bottom of the shoe, which you've already seen a lot of by this point, you do have some orange rubber panels for extra durability, and then of course you've got these clear rubber areas to show off the Joyride cushioning. Overall, the $180 Nike Joyride is a brand new sensation and one that I'm pretty excited about wearing more. It might not be a shoe for the most hardcore runner, or at least not an everyday shoe, but it's definitely something that if you run is worth checking out. I honestly feel like this is going to become much more of a lifestyle shoe for me than a running shoe. It's definitely not something I'd want to run in every single day. That said, because I'm primarily wearing this as a lifestyle sneaker, I'm not a huge fan of this colorway. There are more colorways dropping on August 15th if this colorway is not really your speed, and there's also a bunch of lifestyle models coming out later in the year if you don't really feel like grabbing this particular silhouette. Joyride is a really interesting new technology from Nike, and I'm very excited to see what they do with it. But that pretty much wraps up the review for today. Now I would love to know your thoughts on the Nike Joyride Run Flyknit and whether this is a sneaker that you'd be interested in checking out. So make sure to leave those comments in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.